Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Elmhurst College and Langhorst Field for tonight's NCAA men's soccer matchup featuring the visiting Carroll University Pioneers and your Elmhurst College Blue Jays. Before we begin, let's meet tonight's lineups. First for Carroll, starting in goal, number 0, Jacob Tincher. Number 4, Andrew Jend. Number 8, Doug Johnson. Number 9, Mark Gore. Number 10, Caden Pruitt. Number 12, Dan Zernicki. Number 15, Jake Helland. Number 19, Stephen Dukic. Number 21, Connor Benke. Number 25, Max Toma. And number 28, Andy Hobel. Pioneers are coached by Rick Mobley and enter tonight's game with an overall record of 3-2-1. And now, the starting lineups for your Elmhurst College Blue Jays. Starting in goal, number 0, John Reglin. Number 2, Alex Safford. Number 5, Christian Mullen. Number 8, Austin Haas. Number 9, Andrew Witzowski. Number 10, Brett Stifler. Number 11, Mikey Emig. Number 14, Michael DeLong. Number 21, Brad Yarwood. Number 22, Scott Johnson. And number 28, Andrew Moore. The Blue Jays are coached by Dave DiTomaso. Elmhurst enters tonight's game with an overall record of 4-1-1. Our officials for tonight's game, Marwan Zain, Thomas Zajakowski, and Rafal Zielinski. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you all please rise and face the flag as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And we welcome you to Langhorst Field on the campus of Elmhurst College. It's Blue Jay soccer tonight. The Elmhurst College Blue Jays play host to the Carroll University Pioneers. And a very pleasant good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Kruger. Thank you so much for logging on to BlueJayTV.com. This game was supposed to be scheduled to start at 7:30, but we had severe weather here in the Elmhurst area, so we are starting about 50 minutes late, starting around 8:20 here this evening. Elmhurst College, they started off their season opening loss to Carleton College right here at Langhorst Field. Lost a tough ball game 2-1 in double overtime, but since then the Blue Jays have rattled off 4 straight, and they're coming off of a 1-1 tie against Adrian College on Saturday. So the Blue Jays are 4-1-1 heading into tonight's matchup against these Carroll University Pioneers, who are 3-2-1. Set the starting lineups for you. A very young Pioneers team. They start 4 freshmen, no seniors on this Pioneer team. Jacob Tincher is in goal. He's a sophomore. Andrew Jend is a freshman midfielder. Doug Johnson at forward. Mark Gore is a midfielder. Check that. He is the lone senior on this starting lineup for the Pioneers. Caden Pruitt and Dan Zernicki, Jake Helland, Stephen Dukic, Connor Benke, Max Toma, and Andy Hovel are the starting lineup for the Carroll University Pioneers. Carroll in possession of the game to start. For the Blue Jays, John Reglin Jr. in goal, and he is be accompanied by Alex Safford, Christian Mullen, Austin Haas, Andrew Witzowski, Brett Sifner, Mikey Emig, Michael DeLong, Brad Yarwood, Scott Johnson, and Andrew Moore, the starting lineup for head coach Dave DiTomaso. Coach DiTomaso has been here since 2004, since the inception of Blue Jays soccer. In the front court here for Elmhurst. As they work it around, this is Andrew Wadzowski up front. Kick it over to the far side. Apparently the weather has shifted over to the east, and hopefully for the rest of this game we will be dry as out on the field, as this will be a goal kick here for the Carroll University Pioneers. But the weather has shifted and we should be without any rain or thunderstorms. There was a very severe thunderstorm here about an hour between 6:10 and 7:10. That's when we got most of the rain here tonight, and that's the big reason why we had this 50-minute delay. But we appreciate you logging on to BlueJayTV.com for Blue Jay soccer here this evening. Second time I should say, that the Blue Jays are playing here at home at Langhorst Field. And the Blue Jays, they're going to track this one down in the right corner. That's Brad Yarwood. Mentioned the good start here for the Blue Jays, very similar to last year when they won 7 of their first 10 contests last year, as that one gets cleared. However, Carroll's still in control, and now it's cleared out nicely by the Blue Jays. This one is going to drop right into the hands of Reglin on the one bounce. John defending the east goal. Jacob Tincher, the goalie for Carroll, defending the west goal here in the first half. 2 45-minute halves here at the college level. Reglin with a nice boot, and this one is going to bounce and go all the way into the hands of Jacob Tincher, the Pioneer goal, and he'll roll it out to his teammate at about the 20. As they move it forward, and that one goes out of bounds, it'll be a Blue Jay throw-in. I mentioned last year the Blue Jays won 7 of their first 10 contests. Then they got into a little bit of hit the wall, so to speak. They got some injuries and dropped 7 of their final 9 games of the season. They finished 9-10 and 1-6 in the very, very tough CCIW conference. This will be a throw-in here for the Blue Jays. Again, the Blue Jays unbeaten in the last 5 games here, and we got a whistle, and this will be Carroll ball here. Again, if you just logged in thinking we'd be right in the middle of the game, we just got underway here. About a 50-minute delay due to a very severe weather storm that came through Elmhurst here, the heaviest, about an hour between 6:10 and 7:10. But hopefully we'll get this one under completion without any rain. Carroll working it around in the back here. We are into the 9th minute of this contest. Blue Jays with 9 starters back from last year's team. Head coach Dave DiTomaso very optimistic about this ball club, and they are off to a great start. As I mentioned, the Blue Jays 4-1-1 heading into this contest. This will be a throw-in handball, I should say. They'll restart it right at about the 46-yard line. Blue Jays get it up. Brett Stifler trying to get to the ball to midfield. Stifler gets it, and it'll be Blue Jays ball here, and it's going to be out of bounds, and it will go off of Andrew Wadzowski, and it'll be Carroll ball here. So throwing right at midfield, headed back. Good hustle that time by the Blue Jays' Michael DeLong. DeLong going to be a vital part. Blue Jays had a 3-on-2 momentarily, but it got knocked away. Nice defensive play there by Carroll as they got back nicely on the defensive end. Blue Jays in the front court, now taken away by the Pioneers. 6 minutes have gone by here in the ball game. One off the back leg there of Andrew Jend of the Pioneers. Carroll now on the attack. Over here to the near side is Doug Johnson, but Johnson loses it. Blue Jays now working the near side. Ball goes to midfield. Carroll in control of it. Elmhurst trying to work it along the far sideline. It goes out of bounds. It'll be a Pioneer throw in here. Mentioned John Reglan in goal for the Blue Jays last year. Posted a 1.37 goals against average with 65 saves a year ago. So they're going to rely on John to have another solid season, and he's done that so far this year. One of the tri-captains on this Blue Jay team. No score here between Elmhurst and Carroll University. A non-conference matchup. Carroll way back when, part of the CCIW, but they departed back in 1992. So this is a non-conference affair. Boy, when the Blue Jays do get into the CCIW play, it is a tough, tough conference once again this year. Blue Jays working the left side, going all the way into the corner that time is Michael DeLong. And this will be a corner kick here for the Blue Jays. Jeff Kading, number 23, will kick it. Kading, a sophomore, 5'11", 155-pounder. Centered, and this one, it'll be another corner kick here for the Blue Jays. 37-14 remaining here in this first half. Kading will do the honors here. Corner kick for the Blue Jays. Actually turned into a really nice evening. Winds now out of the west. Slight breeze at the goal, and that one's knocked out of bounds. It'll be another corner kick here for the Blue Jays. Corner kick number 3. He's working that front corner of the goal. We'll see if he goes to that same spot. Almost the identical spot. This one is headed out. Back up top. Blue Jays in control, however. Headed back by Carroll, and it'll be the Pioneers' ball. So 3 corner kicks in that last trip by the Blue Jays. Pioneers' ball here as they work it to midfield. Now over here to the near side. Kicking it back, Stephen Dukic, defensive junior. Defenseman, and we got a whistle here, and it'll be Pioneers' ball here. Blue Jays setting up defensively here. There's the cross, and nobody home, and that ball's going to go out of bounds, and it'll be Blue Jays' ball. Coach DiTomaso doing a great job here with the Blue Jay soccer program, now in his 9th year. I mentioned started it in 2004. See Carroll battling it out and coming away with it for the Blue Jays. Michael DeLong, we're going to have a whistle here, and it'll be Blue Jay ball here. Starting it up, Jeff Kading for the Blue Jays. So they dump it in, and this will be headed right back to the goalkeeper, Jacob Tincher. Tincher will boot it away here, and it's going to be headed near the midfield, but right in the Blue Jays' possession. Blue Jays working to the far side. This one's going to go into the corner, and it's going to be out of bounds, and it will belong to the Pioneers. You're logged on to BlueJayTV.com. Blue Jay soccer out here at Elmhurst Field. Really, it turns into a beautiful night here at Elmhurst. Wouldn't have thought about that about an hour and a half ago when it was just a downpour. Thunder and lightning. I mean, we had everything. But that front has passed, and it's turned into a nice cool evening here at Langhorst Field. Temperature is right around 70 degrees. 12 minutes have gone by here in the scoreless first half between Elmhurst and Carroll University. Battle for the ball in the right corner goes off of Carroll. It'll be a throw in here for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays looking to improve at the offensive end. Averaged less than 2 goals per game a year ago, and they certainly want to get that number up a little bit this year. The 4 wins for Elmhurst: Concordia University, Olivet, Dominican University, and Trine as well, before they tied with Adrian College this past Saturday. So the last 5 games they have been unbeaten, playing very, very well in their first half of this season. This one is going to get tracked down in the corner. Nicely done by Doug Johnson. However, he was out of bounds, so it'll be a Blue Jay throw in here. 32-20 remaining here in this first half. Scoreless first half here between the Blue Jays and the Pioneers. Non-conference battle. Blue Jays on the attack, centering it. Goes into the hands of the Pioneers, and they'll work it the other way. The Pioneers with the vertical striped jerseys, white numbers. The Blue Jays, the home whites, the home shorts, and the home socks, white socks, I should say. Navy blue numbers. Over here to the near side, this is Reading, centers it. A little bit of contact, no call by the officials. They play on here. Carroll now in possession of midfield into Blue Jay territory, and that one does not go out of bounds. Carroll saves it. Now it does go out of bounds, and it'll be a Pioneer throw in here. Cross, and that's kicked out nicely by the Blue Jay defense. Pioneers try to set up offensively here on the attack. Good defense by the Blue Jays, and they kick it away. And here in the front court, an opportunity here now for Mike Enig. As he goes down, and there's the whistle, and a great opportunity here for the Blue Jays. Nice break out there by Mikey Enig, freshman out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. Actually, he's a sophomore out of Kalamazoo. Michael DeLong will take the shot. DeLong one-on-one here against Tincher. Golden opportunity. There's the shot, and it's a goal. So Michael DeLong, the junior out of Hickory, North Carolina, gives the Blue Jays the 1-0 lead coming in the 15th minute of this ball game. The penalty kick gives the Blue Jays the 1-0 lead. was the breakaway.
Elmhurst goal off the penalty kick, his 4th of the season, scored by number 14, Michael DeLong.
Fourth goal of the season for Michael DeLong. Off the penalty kick, and the Blue Jays strike first here, 1-0 over the Pioneers. Three officials for tonight's game: Marvin Zane, Rafael Jaliski, and also Thomas Jazakowski. Talking to the officials before the contest, as that one's knocked away nicely by the Blue Jays. The only threat, as far as weather-wise goes, would be the lightning. And I was talking to the officials. They said if they do see lightning within like a 15-mile radius, that they would have a 30-minute delay. That one is headed out nicely by the Blue Jays. There would be at least a 30-minute delay if they saw any type of lightning, and the delay could take us up to a couple hours, as long as they want. But hopefully they will not see any. This one is tracked down by the goalie, Tincher. As I mentioned earlier, we had about a 50-minute delay. The game was supposed to start at 7:30. We got underway at 8:20 due to a severe thunderstorm here at Langhorst Field in Elmhurst, but it's cleared up nicely, and hopefully we'll be okay for the rest of the game. 1-0 Blue Jays. Penalty kick by Michael DeLong at the 15th minute of this contest, giving the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead. DeLong's 4th goal of the season. This would be a nice win for the Blue Jays. It would make them 1-1 here at Langhorst Field, and it would extend the streak of not losing over the last 6 games. Right now, the streak is at 5. They had a 4-game winning streak snapped with a tie, 1-1 tie on Saturday. Pioneers ball here as they work it back. Now they get it to midfield. Send it forward, but that's going to go out of bounds, so it will be a Blue Jay throw in here. The Blue Jays, by the way, will open up that tough CCIW conference play on October 12th. Check that, that's their home opener against Wheaton College on October 12th. They open up conference play in Bloomington on October 4th against Illinois Wesleyan. Kickoff, or kick is 7 o'clock, the start of that ball game. 27 minutes remaining here in this first half. Blue Jays with possession of the soccer ball. They have a 1-0 lead. Brett Siffner, number 10, and he tried to track it down, but it goes out of bounds. It will be Pioneers' ball here. Pioneers without a shot on goal so far here tonight. The Blue Jay defense has really been outstanding. They just haven't given the Pioneers a chance to put one in the net. Again, a very young Carroll University team starting 4 freshmen, only 1 senior on the starting lineup for the Pioneers. And that one is slid and kicked out of bounds by, actually it's going to go off Carroll University, so it will be Blue Jay ball. A little bit of contact at midfield, no call by the officials. They're letting them play here tonight. Blue Jays in control at midfield. Over here to the near side. And they'll bring it back to the goalkeeper, that's Redlin. Blue Jays working the far sideline. Now the Pioneers get it back. And they'll bring it out and work it in the back. 25 minutes, 10 seconds remaining here in this first half. 2 45-minute halves here at the college level. Appreciate you logging on to BlueJayTV.com. Blue Jay Soccer here tonight at Elmhurst Field. Blue Jays in possession right now. Oh, they lose it to the Pioneers. Carroll trying to get something going offensively. Elmhurst scoring on a penalty kick. That one is cleared nicely by the Blue Jay defense. They have been strong. Michael DeLong off the penalty kick, his 4th goal of the season. All the scoring so far here tonight. Blue Jays leading 1-0. Carroll working it around here now to the near side as they center it, and it's headed by Elmhurst. It's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a throw in here for Carroll University. 24 minutes remaining. The throw in there by Stephen Dukic, junior defenseman. Dukic will throw it in once again into the right corner. Cross, and we're going to have a whistle here as that ball was centered. And what's the call here? Foul against Elmhurst. So now Carroll University with the kick here, and they'll have a great opportunity. Put one in here. Andrew Jen, the freshman midfielder, will kick it. He sends it in. It's headed out nicely by the Blue Jays. Headed out once again. Good defense that time by Elmhurst. Nice play once again by the Blue Jay defense. They could not clear it, however. The cross, and nobody home there for Carroll University as Elmhurst trying to clear it now. And they do as they get it across midfield. And Carroll University will retreat and track it down, and they'll send it back to their goalkeeper, Tincher. So the Blue Jay defense a couple of times being tested, and they've responded here in the first half against this very, very young Carroll University team. And the Blue Jays' mistake there is they let that one go out of bounds. It'll be a Pioneer throw-in. We're halfway through this first half from Elmhurst Field. Elmhurst College and Carroll University, non-conference soccer action. It's a throw in by Carroll. Goes back out of bounds, and this time it'll be an Elmhurst throw in. Not much wind to speak of here. Little bit out of the east. A couple miles an hour. That's about it, though. Very comfortable night here at Elmhurst Field. Be a Blue Jay ball here. They'll throw in. Actually, they'll just restart it from the far side. Work it over here to the near side. 21-19 remaining here in the first half. Left-handed kick into the left corner, tracked down by the Pioneers. Carroll working it in the middle of the field, and the Blue Jays clear it. It goes over the defense, and the goalkeeper, Tincher, is going to track it down. 1-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. That one is knocked out of bounds. It'll be a Pioneer throw-in. Dukic throws it in for the Pioneers. Centered nicely by Carroll, but good defense that time and knocked away nicely Blue Jay defense has been solid here tonight. And the Blue Jays looking for their 5th win of the season. They come into tonight's matchup an overall mark of 4-1-1. After their season opening loss in double overtime, they have won 4 straight and a tie. As they get geared up towards CCIW conference play. Very, very tough conference once again. There's the cross, and that's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be corner kick here for the Blue Jays. 4th corner kick, I believe, of the game here for Elmhurst. 19:22 remaining here in this first half. So Jeff Kading will do the honors here, the corner kick for the Blue Jays. Back to Kading. He centers it nicely, but the Pioneers were there defensively. There's a shot on goal, but that goes up high over the crossbar, and Pioneers will have it. Pioneers across midfield on the far side. That one's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a throw in here for Elmhurst. They get it in quickly, headed it back towards midfield. Blue Jays get it back, working the far side. A little bit of contact, no call. Headed by the Pioneers over here to the near side. The Blue Jays, good hustle that time. They recapture possession of the ball. Centered nicely by Kading. Blue Jays on the attack, but knocked away nicely by the Pioneers. And we have come to the 19-minute mark. 19 minutes remaining here in this first half. 1-0 in favor of the Blue Jays in case you've just logged on. Appreciate you logging on to BlueJayTV.com. Blue Jay soccer action here tonight from Langhorst Field. Battle for the ball here to the near side. Pioneers come away with it. One was off of a Blue Jay, and it's going to possession Elmhurst. Now back to Carroll. Good sliding effort that time. Oh my, and there's a whistle. Andrew Zatsky diving for the ball for Elmhurst, and they're going to call a foul against Elmhurst. So penalty kick here by the Pioneers. Boy, he was just going after the ball, it looked like. Penalty kick here for the Pioneers. 17:26 remaining here in this first half. Ball is still loose. Be a goal kick here for the Blue Jays. That was probably the best opportunity the Pioneers have had, as the ball was hanging around and right in front of the goal here, but knocked away by the Blue Jays. There's goal kick, and we're going to have another whistle here. A little bit of a push by the Pioneers, so the Blue Jays will have it. They'll restart it right around midfield. 15:40 remaining here in this first half. 1-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. With 30:31 left, Michael DeLong with the penalty kick to give the Blue Jays the 1-0 lead. DeLong, by the way, was with his 4th goal of the season. And the Pioneers on the attack, and that's knocked out of bounds nicely by the Blue Jay defense. So it'll be a corner kick here for the Pioneers. Again, the Blue Jay defense doing a really good job of knocking it out. Under 15 minutes to play here in this first half. Again, 2 45-minute halves played here at the college level. Corner kick here now for Carroll University. There it is, right? Oh, it hits the side. It hits the upright of the goal, and it's cleared nicely by the Blue Jays. So Elmhurst got a little bit of a break there as it hits the goalpost. Goes right to a Blue Jay defender, and he clears it nicely. Pioneers will set it up. They move here to the near side. They center it. Keaton Pruitt, number 10. And that one is going to go, and Reglan will not pick it up. Well, now he finally does. And he will boot it away here for the Blue Jays. Exactly 15 minutes remaining here in this first half. Drop kick, and that one's booted pretty good into the front court, into the right corner, and it's going to be kicked out of bounds. Nope, it's going to stay in bounds. Blue Jays in possession now. They work it here to the near side, centered nicely, but nobody home. Pioneers in control now. Dump it into the Blue Jays zone. Blue Jays with the ball right around midfield as they work it to the far side, up the sideline. And it's going to be kicked out of bounds, but kicked off of a Pioneer. It'll be a Blue Jay throw-in. Oh. Blue Jays get it in the right corner. And that one goes out of bounds to the Pioneers. Carroll with the throw in, headed. Goes out of bounds again, and it'll be the Pioneers' ball here. 13:40 remaining here in this first half. Midfield, will that one hit the official? Over here on the near side, and it's going to go out of bounds to the Pioneers. Blue Jays get the ball back as they work it around. They're at midfield right now as they work it to the far side now. Moving up the sidelines, and that one's deflected out of bounds off of a Pioneer. It'll be a Blue Jay throw in here. Under 13 minutes left to go here in this first half. Not too many shots on goal for either team, but the Blue Jays capitalized on a penalty kick. With 30:31 remaining in the first half, it was Michael DeLong with the penalty kick, about a 14-yarder for his 4th goal of the season to give the Blue Jays this 1-0 lead here as we approach the 12-minute mark of this first half. Ball kicked around midfield. Blue Jays in possession now as they dump it into the right corner. Blue Jays trying to center it. They do, but it's knocked out of the way by the Pioneers. Back to midfield. Blue Jays on the attack. They work it here to the near side. Left-handed shot by Kading. A nice cross. But that one's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick here for the Pioneers. 11:30 remaining here in this first half. Glad to have you aboard here on BlueJayTV.com. Beautiful evening here at Langhorst Field in Elmhurst. Wasn't that way a little while ago. Torrential downpour here between, I'd say, about 6:10 and 7:10, which delayed our game about 50 minutes. This one was scheduled for 7:30, but we didn't get underway till about 8:20 this evening. Blue Jay throw-in. Blue Jays on the attack here on the near side. And knocked out of bounds by the Pioneers. It'll be a Blue Jay throw-in here as they try to get it in quickly, and now they decide to just set up and get some reinforcements down on the offensive end. 10.5 minutes left to play here in this first half. 2 45-minute halves. That one is knocked out of bounds by a sliding Pioneer. Be a Blue Jay throw-in. Blue Jays trying to set up a offensive play. We'll see what happens here on the throw-in. And they work it to the top. That one is kicked here to the left corner, driving. Oh, nice defensive play by the Pioneers. They come away with it. Pushed up here to the near sideline, but it goes out of bounds to the Blue Jays. So Elmhurst with another opportunity for an offensive attempt. 9.5 remaining here in this first half. Taken away by the Blue Jays, and that one is going to go out of bounds. It'll be Carroll University ball here. Approaching the 9-minute mark of this first half. Again, the only scoring coming at the 30-31 mark of the first half. Michael DeLong on the penalty kick for the Blue Jays. His 4th goal of the season, and that's where we're at right now. 1-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. Knocked around right around midfield here. The Blue Jays coming back, and they will just kick it back to their goalkeeper, John Reglin, as they work it around the far side. Dribbled up to midfield, taken away by the Pioneers, and the Blue Jays, though, clear it. Back deep in the Pioneer zone. 9:24 left to play here in the first half. That one's headed back to Reglin. He's going to come out and corral it. Again, Reglin with an excellent year last year, coming back to be in goal again this year. Coach D. Tomaso has high expectations for his goalkeeper. One of the captains on this Blue Jay team. Pioneers have it now way deep in their own end. They work it to the middle of the field here. Right at midfield, knocked down by a Blue Jay. Battle on the far side, a little pushing, a little shoving, no call by the officials, and the Blue Jays will have a throw-in. I'll tell you one thing about the officials, they are letting the guys play out there tonight. We approach the 7-minute mark of this first half. Blue Jays with the 1-0 lead. Got the ball right now, and they're home white. Center knocked away by the Pioneers. Pioneers now on the attack on the far side. And it's cleared nicely by the Blue Jays. This is going to go all the way back to the goalkeeper. This is Tincher. As he gives the outlet over to the far side. Pioneers working the far sideline. Blue Jays try to track it down. It looked like it went off of a Pioneer, so it'll be a Blue Jay throw-in. Again, a solid effort here in this first half by the Blue Jay defense. They've been tested a couple times, but they came through with flying colors here. Really, both teams with not a lot of offensive opportunities, but the Blue Jays capitalizing on the penalty kick. Pioneers now. Penalty kick. Ball right in front of Reglan, and Reglan diving for it. Ball is loose. Reglan comes away with it. Now we got a whistle. Excellent play that time by John Reglan, the goalkeeper. The official is talking to one of the Blue Jay captains, getting an explanation. It'll be a goal kick here for Reglan. He'll boot it away here. 5.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Blue Jays certainly will like to get an insurance goal as they head into the locker room. They lead 1-0 over Carroll University here from Langhorst Field. Carroll University with the ball. Good pressure D, and we got a whistle. And it'll be Carroll University's ball on the restart. Just under 5 minutes remaining here in this first half. We've just logged on. The reason why we are still in the first half was we started this game about 50 minutes late, about a 50-minute delay. Game was supposed to start at 7:30. We didn't get underway till about 8:20 this evening, so that's why we have the late start, because of a severe thunderstorm that occurred out here in Elmhurst. Clock stops with 4 minutes and 24 seconds left to play in the first half. So we've got an injured Pioneer down on the far side. He is up and walking under his own power. Looks like he's going to be okay. And we're ready to resume play. The throw in by the Blue Jays. Battle for possession on the far side. Pioneers have it momentarily. And it's cleared by the Blue Jays all the way back. And that will take us underneath the 4-minute mark of this first half. Blue Jays with the 1-0 lead. Coach D. Tomaso, the head coach of the Blue Jays. And that one is knocked out of bounds. It will be a Blue Jay throw-in. Three and a half minutes to play here in this first half. There's a throw-in for Elmhurst, headed nicely by the Pioneers. Back to midfield, the Blue Jays in possession. Over here to the near side. And that one is going to be knocked away by the Pioneers, and we're going to have a whistle. Foul against Carroll University. Actually, it's a foul against Elmhurst, so it'll be Pioneers' ball here. Under 3 minutes to go. Be a restart here for the Pioneers. They work it along the near side, knocked away nicely at midfield. Blue Jays ball now. Ball bounces and it's in possession of the Pioneers. Now it's knocked away and trying to chase it, but it will go out of bounds off the Blue Jays. It'll be a Pioneer throw-in here with 2.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Again, the Blue Jays looking for an insurance goal here. They lead 1-0. There's a shot on goal. Diving effort that time by Tincher. As he rolls it to his teammate in front of him. Again, the Pioneers with not many shots on goal so far here in this first half. Again, a very young team. They start 4 freshmen and just 1 senior. Left-handed shot on goal coming up and taken nicely by Regland. And that one is centered all the way to the 40-yard line. Pretty good boot by Regland. A minute and a half remaining here in this first half. Blue Jays with an excellent effort. They've had 4 corner kicks in the first half. Pioneers have had a couple. Again, not too many shots on goal for either team, but the Blue Jay defense has been impressive in this first half, preserving this shutout here with just a minute remaining in this first half.
1 minute. 1 minute's play in the half.
1 minute remaining. Be a corner kick here for the Blue Jays. Their 5th corner kick of the first half. Kading will do the honors. Cross nicely in the front. Ball is loose, and now it's kicked away by the Pioneers. And 30 seconds remaining in the half. Blue Jays should get an opportunity to perhaps get a shot on goal here. 20 seconds remaining in the half. That's headed out by the Pioneers. This goes down the near sideline. The Blue Jays will send it back to Reading, and only 9 seconds to go in the half. Ball is at midfield. Neither team going to be able to get an opportunity to score here as the clock winds down. And we have played one half of soccer here at Langhorse Field on the campus of Elmhurst College. And all the scoring in that first half, well, it was done by Michael DeLong at the 30-31 mark of the first half. Penalty kick, his 4th goal of the season, and that's where we're at here at halftime. 1-0, the Blue Jays over the Pioneers at halftime. We'll step aside and come back in just a little bit for second half action. You are tuned in to BlueJayTV.com. And welcome back to Langhorst Field here on the campus of Elmhurst College. My name is Mark Kruger. We thank you so much for logging on to BlueJayTV.com. We're about ready to begin second half action with the Blue Jays on top by a score of 1-0. It was Michael DeLong's penalty kick during the 15th minute of action. All the scoring thus far in the ball game. Michael's 4th goal of the season. And they'll switch ends of the field. John Reglin, the goalkeeper for the Blue Jays, he'll be defending the west goal. And the goalkeeper for the Pioneers, Jacob Tincher, he'll be defending the east goal as we are underway here in the second half. By the way, Michael DeLong, who scored that goal for the Blue Jays in that first half, we should give him congratulations. He was the CCIW Offensive Player of the Week last week. He had an assist and the game-winning goal in the team's 2-1 win over Dominican, as well as the assist in the team's only goal against Adrian. John Reglin also, by the way, CCIW Defensive Player of the Week. Congratulations to those two young men. Reglin, by the way, allowed just 2 goals in the 3 games last week while recording 18 saves in the net. And Reglin is looking for his 3rd shutout of the season, should that happen here tonight. Be a Blue Jay throw in here as they move from left to right. Actually be a penalty kick here for the Blue Jays. That's Jeff Kading, and that goes right into the hands of Jacob Tincher, the goalkeeper. Shot on goal for the Blue Jays here, just a couple minutes into the second half. Pioneers cross, and Reglin comes up nicely to make the stop and the save for the Blue Jays, and that's why he is highly touted here for the Blue Jays, one of the tri-captains, and really an opportunity to be an all-conference goalkeeper here for the Blue Jays. And again, he is only a junior, so he'll be back again next year for this Blue Jay team. Again, the Blue Jays, after a season opening loss, they have rattled off 4 wins and then just recently a tie. So the Blue Jays come into tonight's game 4-1-1, looking for victory number 5. That one is a shot, and that one's way off to the right. But the Blue Jays getting a couple of offensive opportunities here in the early moments of this second half. Actually turns into a beautiful night here in Elmhurst. Cool, around 70 degrees. Really no wind to speak of. A little bit out of the west, but that's about it. Calm, cool night here in Elmhurst. We thank you for logging on to BlueJayTV.com. Blue Jays with the 1-0 lead here to start this second half. Just moments into the second half. Again, 2 45-minute halves here at the college level. Non-conference matchup. Ball kicked straight up, and it will be chested nicely by Blue Jays, and it's going to be in control now. The Pioneers. Carroll on the attack. 3-on-3. And we're going to have a whistle, and it looks like a push against the Blue Jays. Andrew Jend, the midfielder, will have the restart here for the Pioneers. They'll have the penalty kick. He spots it right at the 30-yard line. So the kick headed, and a nice save by Reglin. John Reglin with a beautiful save for the Blue Jays to preserve the shutout. We are into the 50th minute of this contest between the Blue Jays and the Pioneers. Carroll University. This, by the way, is just the second meeting between these two teams. The Blue Jays scored a 2-0 season opening win last year over the Pioneers. Brett Harper had a goal for the Blue Jays. Austin Haas had the other goal for the Blue Jays. Mentioned Carroll coming in with a 3-2-1 record. Pioneers are looking for back-to-back victories for the first time this season. Got it in the front, working to the far sideline, but ball's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a Blue Jay throw-in. Headed by the Pioneers back at midfield. Pioneers come away with it. Blue Jays now on the attack. Midfield, tried to dump it in the left corner. It's knocked away over here to the near side by the Pioneers as they work it here to the near side. Dumped into the left corner. It's going to go out of play. It'll be a Blue Jay goal kick. 39-49 left to play in the game. Blue Jays clinging to a 1-0 lead. If you've just logged on to BlueJayTV.com, it was at the 30-31 mark of the first half. A penalty kick by Michael DeLong for the Blue Jays, his fourth goal of the season, to give the Blue Jays the 1-0 lead, and that's where we're at right now. Tincher off the side of his foot, and a left-handed shot just to the right of the goal. Blue Jays looking for a call from the official, but they are not going to get it. Mike Emig, number 11, asking the official for the call, but not going to get it. Blue Jays kick it back towards midfield. Once again, they get it to midfield. Looks like the Pioneers will let it bounce, and it's headed, and now it's into the Blue Jays ball now, around midfield, taken away by the Pioneers. Centered, man on either side here as Pioneers work it to the far sideline. Moving it up quickly. The cross, and the header, and that one is in. And we're tied at 1. So there goes the shutout here for the Blue Jays as they were looking for their third shutout of the season. Instead, we are tied at 1. Dan Zernicki, junior forward, with the goal for the Pioneers. And we're tied at 1 here. 37 minutes remaining here in the second half. Blue Jays with the goal in the first half, and the Pioneers just answered here in the second half. Tied at 1. It was a beautiful cross, and Zernicki just went to the right low corner of the goal, just past Regland for the goal. Pioneers heading it, and that one is going to go out of play. And it'll be a goal kick here for the Blue Jays. Regland trying to fire up his Blue Jay teammates. We've played 10 minutes into this second half. Tied at 1 between the Blue Jays And the Pioneers. Reglan lets it go, and it's headed off of a couple of players at midfield, taken by the Pioneers, and now it's going to be the Blue Jays retrieving it. Ooh, knocked off the midsection of a Pioneer. Reglan's going to come over to his right and pick up the ball. Looking for an outlet pass. Instead, he's going to...
Carroll's goal scored by number 12, Dan Zernicki, assisted by number 5, Colton Woyak.
To midfield over here to the near side, and that one is going to go out of bounds, so it will be a Pioneer throw in here. It looks like Carroll University a little bit more aggressive here offensively here in the second half, coming out of the break. Putting the pressure on the Blue Jays. Whistle against the Pioneers, so this will be a penalty kick here for Elmhurst. Austin Haas will kick it away here for Elmhurst. Austin with a strong boot headed out. And that one is kicked through the uprights of the football goal posts. A little bit too high, and it'll be Pioneer ball here with 34:30 remaining here in regulation. 1-1. Thank you for logging on to BlueJayTV.com. Men's soccer action here tonight. The Blue Jays playing host to the Carroll University Pioneers. Pioneers lost to Loras College last week 2-1 last Saturday, but they bounced back and they shut out Wisconsin Platteville on Sunday 1-0. Andrew Jend had the game-winning goal for the Pioneers against UW Platteville. Jake Helland had the team's only goal in that loss to Loras. So both teams not really putting up a bunch of offensive numbers this season. Tied at 1 here tonight at Langhorst Field as we come up on the 33-minute mark. This one is worked back to the goalkeeper, Tincher, as he works it here to the near side. Blue Jays trying to get a steal, and now they get the ball back. Hahn loses it as the Pioneers kick it out of bounds. This will be a Blue Jay throw-in. .32:45 remaining here in the second half. We're tied at 1. Blue Jays work it in the right corner. Now they come out of it. Crossed, and that one is knocked out of bounds by the Pioneers. It's going to be a corner kick here for Elmhurst. Blue Jays get it in quickly. Cross is headed out by the Pioneers. And that one is going to go out of bounds. Going to be a corner kick for the Blue Jays. Again from the far side. I believe this is the 6th corner kick of the game for the Blue Jays. Shot and a save by Tincher. Nicely done by the goalkeeper, the sophomore goalkeeper, Jacob Tincher, for the Pioneers. And we're still tied at 1. Pioneers ball. Blue Jays in their only other game played here at Langhorst Field. It was their season opener. A double overtime loss to Carleton College. That was back on September 1st. That actually turned out to be their season opener here at Langhorst Field. 31 minutes remaining here in regulation. We're tied at 1. This one is going to go out of bounds in the right corner. It will be Blue Jays ball. Reglan will boot it away here for the Blue Jays. As we are into the 60th minute here at Elmhurst Field. 2 45-minute halves. Pioneers have it and taken away, and this one is kicked off of a Pioneer. Uh-oh, but the Blue Jays do not clear. There's a shot knocked away nicely by the Blue Jays. It'll be a Pioneer throw-in. Boy, that was an opportunity for Carroll University to take the lead. But it was knocked away nicely by the Blue Jay defense. Under 30 minutes to go here in regulation. Tied at 1. Here's the throw-in by the Pioneers. Strong throw-in. Taken away, the left-footed kick is cleared around midfield, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be a Pioneer throw-in. We get it in, and it's headed by the Blue Jays. Blue Jays knocked it out of bounds, it looks like. Or no, it's going to be out of bounds by the Pioneers. It'll be a Blue Jay throw-in. Again, Michael DeLong, 15 minutes into the game with a penalty kick, his 4th of the season. That gave the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead. Then with 37-16 left to play here in this second half, goal by Dan Zernicki, junior forward for the Pioneers, tying this one up. And that's where we're at right now. 1-1 tie with 29:40 left to play in regulation. Blue Jays will throw it in on the far side. See if they can get a good opportunity here to score, break this tie. Headed just to the right of the goal. Knocked around. And the goalkeeper, Tincher, is going to come up with it. Tincher is just going to release to his right side to one of his teammates as he works it up the far side. Booted nicely. This is going to go all the way into the right corner. Stolen nicely by the Blue Jays, and we've got a whistle and a penalty against the Pioneers, so it'll be Blue Jay ball. Intensity starting to increase just a little bit. I think both of these two teams realize that, oh boy, a little bit of a mental mistake here in their defensive end as the Blue Jays kick it out of bounds. It'll be a Pioneer throw-in. I think both teams realize that the next team to score a goal is a good opportunity to win this game. And this one is going to get kicked back to Tincher, the goalkeeper, and he's just going to boot it to midfield, headed by the Blue Jays. As we approach the 27-minute mark of the second half, we're tied at 1. Kicked around midfield. Couple of bodies going down on the field, and that one's a shot and a save by Reglan. Another shot on goal by the Pioneers, but John Reglan was there to make the stop for the Blue Jays. Elmhurst now on the attack. Dump it into the right corner. Pioneers steal it, they get it back. We go back and forth in that right corner. Finally, the Pioneers come away with it, and they clear it for Carroll University. And we're going to have a whistle as a Pioneer player goes down. It'll be a foul against the Blue Jays, so Pioneers will have the free kick. 25 minutes remaining here in the second half. Pioneers on the restart here. Over here to the near side, and Blue Jays keep it in play. No, they do not. It's going to be a Pioneer throw-in. .25.5 remaining. There's the throw-in, headed it out by the Blue Jays. It's going to go into the right corner. Left-footed kick goes out of bounds. It'll be another Pioneer throw-in. Midfield. Blue Jays really unable to get anything going offensively here in the second half. Pioneers scoring a goal here to tie it up at 1. This one is going to settle into the hands of Reglan. And he thought about booting it. Now he's going to wait till everybody gets downfield. And now he'll boot it away. Ball going out of bounds off of a Pioneer. It'll be a Blue Jay throw, and they quickly get it into the left corner. Stolen momentarily by a Pioneer as he gets it out, and they will clear around midfield, but the Blue Jays get it back, working on the attack. Makes the move. There's a cross here to the near side, and that one goes harmlessly out of bounds. It was Eric Dougherty, freshman, number 12, who dove for that ball out of Fort Worth, Texas. Ball bounced around. Now the Blue Jays in possession of it momentarily. Now it's back over to the Pioneers. Carroll quickly in the attack mode. Oh, nicely stolen from behind. And the Blue Jays now in possession. Body goes down, no whistle, play on. And now we finally got a whistle. We've got an injured Pioneer down. Jeremy Malinsky, number 24, the injured Pioneer. And he's walking off, should be okay. Under 23 minutes to play here in the second half, tied at 1. Between Elmhurst and Carroll University from Langhorst Field. Pioneers trying to get some space, but it goes out of bounds. It will be, well, they're saying it's off of the Blue Jays, so it's going to be Pioneers' ball here. Foul called against the Blue Jays on that play. So another chance here for the Pioneers. Just 22 minutes remaining. There is the nobody home, and this one, is it going to go out of bounds? No, it's going to be saved by the Pioneers. They bring it up top. Shot, there's the cross, the header, and that one is in. Caden Pruitt with the assist. And the goal, Austin Wiegman. Wow. 21:50 mark of the second half. The goal by Austin Wiegman, assisted by Caden Pruitt. And for the first time tonight, the Pioneers take the lead 2-1.
Carroll goal scored by number 14, Austin Wiegman. Assisted by number 10, Caden Pruitt.
So 2-1 Pioneers here. Blue Jays now with a have to come from behind here. 2 unanswered goals by the Pioneers in this second half. And the Blue Jays find themselves trailing by 1, 2-1. Really nothing that John Reglan could do on that play. That was just a great offensive play by the Pioneers. The cross and the redirect and the goal. 2-1 in favor of the Pioneers. And the Blue Jays haven't lost since their season opener. And that was in double overtime. Since then, they've won 4 straight and a tie. That is in jeopardy here tonight as we approach the 20-minute mark of this one. See if the Blue Jays can get something going offensively here. The second half, it's been tough. Pioneers have done a good job defensively here in the second half against the Blue Jays. This one is going to be out off of the Blue Jays. It'll be a Pioneer throw-in. Right from the opening moments of this second half, you could tell Carroll University came out a little more aggressive offensively. And they have a couple of goals here in the second half to show for it. They lead 2-1. Reglan coming out to scoop the ball up. Under 20 to play. Reglan lets it fly. A header, and that one goes out of bounds. Blue Jays say it's their ball, and the officials agree. It'll be a Blue Jay throw-in. Kicked out by the Pioneers. They're in control of the ball right now, working the far sideline. Good battle at the 40-yard line. Blue Jays come away with it. They work it over here to the near side. That ball is going to skid out of bounds, so it will be a Pioneer throw-in here. As we come up on the 19-minute mark, substitution for Carroll University here. Blue Jays working it here to the near side. Pioneer players just going to let that one go out of bounds. It will be a Pioneer throw-in. It's Caden Pruitt who shedded off the Blue Jay defender, let the ball go out of bounds, and Carroll throws it in. There's a shot by Pruitt, and it's wide to the right. 2-1, Carroll University over Elmhurst here tonight. 19 minutes remaining here in the second half. You are logged on to BlueJayTV.com. Special thanks going out to Phil Petrusik. He is the one giving you the fine pictures high atop the press box here at Langhorst Field. He battled the weather conditions earlier on tonight before the game started, but I have to be honest, since the game started at about 8:20 this evening, it's been a very cool, comfortable evening here in Elmhurst, but was far from that early on this evening. Heavy downpour delayed tonight's game about 50 minutes. Blue Jay ball here on the restart as we come up on the 17-minute mark now. Pioneers clear it to midfield. Pioneers looking for their third goal of the second half. They lead it 2-1. A couple of unanswered goals here in the second half. Good effort by, that's going to be a corner kick here for the Pioneers. Kick opportunity, but we're going to have a whistle here. May have been a push, and it was against the Pioneers, so it'll be a Blue Jay ball. Clock continuing to tick down here as we are at the 15-minute mark of this game. Actually the 16-minute mark. 16 minutes remaining. Reglan lets it fly, headed at midfield by the Blue Jays. Goes into the front court. Blue Jays working in on the far side, knocked away by the Pioneers. Here comes Carroll, quickly into the attack. And it's sent into the right corner. There's a shot on goal. Reglan through his fingertips, the ball trickling off to the left side. Centered, and it's knocked out by the Blue Jays. Did it go out of bounds? No, it's saved by the Pioneers. There's the cross. Blue Jays will get possession on the far side as they'll work it up the sideline. And that ball is going to go out of bounds. It will go to the Pioneers. Clock continuing to wind down as we are inside 15 minutes of this one. Blue Jays in the white. And we're going to have a whistle here. It's going to be a handball against the Pioneers. So an opportunity here for the Blue Jays. See if they can capitalize on it here. And the lone goal for the Blue Jays came 15 minutes into the game. Penalty kick by Michael DeLong, his fourth goal of the season. Since that time, Blue Jays have been held scoreless. They trail 2-1. Ooh, into the hands of Tincher. Riley with the shot on goal for the Blue Jays. Opportunity there to tie the ball game up, but Tincher comes away with the save. Blue Jays back on the attack here. Trailing 2-1. Work the far side, now they work their way into the corner as that one goes out of bounds. It'll be a Pioneer ball here. It'll be a Carroll throw-in. Two goals in the second half. The 37-16 mark, goal by Dan Zernicki. And then at the 21-50 mark, goal by Austin Wiegman, assisted by Caden Pruitt to give the Pioneers this 2-1 lead. Under 13 minutes to play. Blue Jays working the near side here. Almost a shot on goal. There's a left-footed shot, and that one is saved nicely by Tincher. Diving effort to his right. Jacob Tincher coming up with a nice save for the Pioneers. Both goalies have had a couple of impressive saves for their teams tonight. So we come up on the 12-minute mark. Tincher is going to come way out of the goal. And we're going to have an offsides call against the Blue Jays, as we've got Looks like a cramping situation on one of the Pioneers on the far sideline there. They're trying to stretch that right leg out. Clock stops momentarily. 12 minutes, 2 seconds remaining here in this second half. It's been pretty much an injury-free game here tonight. There's been 1 or 2 other injuries, but nothing too serious. And this one just appears to be a cramp, as the trainer for the Pioneers working on the right leg. Blue Jays after tonight, the next action, they'll be on the road against Coe College 1 week from tonight, September 25th. That game starts at 4 p.m. Then on the 28th, they'll take on Concordia University from Wisconsin. And they won't be back here at Langhorse Field until they play Wheaton College in a CCIW affair on October 12th. So after tonight, the Blue Jays will take the road for 4 games. But then they'll have 3 straight home games, 3 straight home conference games here at Langhorse Field against Wheaton College, North Park University, and Millikin University. Now the Pioneer player is up under his own power, walking off to the Carroll University sideline. Looks like he's going to be okay. And we'll resume action here momentarily. Ball in play right around midfield, and we're going to have a whistle, and this is going to be against the Pioneers, so it'll be a Blue Jay restart here. Quickly into the left corner, and that one is going to go out of bounds. Be a goal kick here for the Pioneers. Clock continues to run, 11.5 minutes remaining here from Langhorst Field. Second half action here between the Blue Jays and the Pioneers of Carroll University. Blue Jay soccer action. Glad to have you logged on to BlueJayTV.com. Mark Kruger delighted to bring you all the action here from Elmhurst College and Langhorst Field. Again, this is a field turf, just a beautiful facility here, and the turf did a great job of absorbing most of the torrential rainstorm we had here earlier tonight for a good hour, I'd say, between 6:10 and 7:10 p.m. It rained awful hard during those 60 minutes, but the field is looking pretty good. The field turf has done a nice job of absorbing most of the moisture. Goal kick here for the Pioneers. We're at the 10.5 minute mark now of this second half. Blue Jays with not a lot of opportunities, at least from the offensive side of the ball here in this second half. Got to give the Pioneers credit. They came out and were a little more aggressive on the offensive side. See if the Blue Jays can answer, though, and tie this one up. They trail it here 2-1 with exactly 10 minutes remaining here in this second half. Pioneers certainly would like an insurance goal. Again, the Blue Jays coming into tonight's game with a record of 4-1-1. No opponent has scored more than 2 goals so far on the Blue Jays this season. That one is a shot on goal, but just wide to the left, as the Pioneers were awful close to getting goal number 3. But instead, as I said, off to the left, score remains 2-1 in favor of Carroll University. John Regland, the goalkeeper for the Blue Jays, boots it away. Headed right at midfield Blue Jays trying to gain control of it. Pioneers retreat, headed it back to their goalkeeper, Tincher. Tincher quickly with the throw here to the near side. Kicked in midair. And they lose it from behind to the Blue Jays here. 9:40 remaining. Battle, and Tincher comes away with it. Quickly rolls it here to the near side. Midfield, this is Andrew Jend. Andrew Jend working his way. Off to the left, it's Caden Pruitt. Blue Jays working the far side, left-footed shot to the middle. Pioneers chest it, left-footed kick. Now it's headed. Blue Jays in possession of it now. Under 8 minutes to go as the time's starting to become a factor here. Blue Jays trailing by 1. They started off the scoring in the first half with a Michael DeLong penalty kick that got by the goalkeeper Tincher. It was 1-0. That was DeLong's 4th goal, centered, and a nice save by Regland. Beautiful save to his left. It was 1-0 Blue Jays until the second half. The Pioneers scored at the 37-16 mark by Dan Zernicki, and they scored 16 minutes later. The assist was by Caden Pruitt, and the goal was by Austin Wiegman to make it 2-1 in favor of the Pioneers, and that's where we're at right now, as we have reached the 7-minute mark of this one. Regland. Another good boot right to midfield. That one's headed by the Pioneers, and it's going to come back. And the Blue Jay defense kicks it to midfield, headed it. Left-footed kick to the far side by the Blue Jays. That goes out of bounds. It will be a Pioneer throw-in. Blue Jays with possession. They play it ahead. Now it's into the Pioneer foot. That one's kicked away close to midfield to the far side, out of bounds. It'll be a Blue Jay throw-in. They quickly get it in. Working that left corner. Looks like it's out of bounds off of the Pioneers, so this will be a corner kick for the Blue Jays. Looks like Jeff Kading will do the honors in the corner for Elmhurst. Pioneer defense trying to settle it in. 5:40 remaining. Here's the corner kick. Headed, ball's loose down on the field, right in front of the goal, and it's still loose as guys are battling for it. Now we're gonna have a whistle, and that one is gonna go against the Blue Jays. So an opportunity gone by for the Blue Jays as we approach the 5-minute mark of this one. That one is headed out by the Blue Jays. It'll be another Pioneer throw-in. We're under the 5-minute mark of this one. Pioneers are looking for their 4th win of the season. They came into tonight's game with a record of 3-2-1. Blue Jays came into tonight's action with a record of 4-1-1. That one is off of a Pioneer. It'll be a Blue Jay throw-in now. 4.5 minutes left to play as the Blue Jays sense the urgency, trying to turn it up a notch offensively here. Can't get it out of the zone though, and here comes the Pioneers on the left side, the center, and a handball against the Pioneers. It'll be a Blue Jay restart. And we are exactly at the 4-minute mark of this one. Headed, and Tincher is going to come out and make the play for the Pioneers. Both goalies really have been impressive here tonight. Tincher for the Pioneers and John Reglin for the Blue Jays. Pioneers work it in the middle, now back to the left corner. Still going, Pioneers, there's the cross. It's knocked away by the Blue Jays. Can't clear it, however, Pioneers in possession. This is Jend. His shot is deflected by the Blue Jays. To midfield is controlled by the Pioneers. We are at the 3-minute mark as that shot goes wide to the left. Under 3 minutes remaining. And they stop the clock momentarily as the Pioneers make a substitution here. Clock is stopped with 2 minutes and 55 seconds remaining. And now the clock continues to wind down. 2-1 in favor of the Pioneers. Can the Blue Jays come back and tie this one up? We're at the 2:37 mark. And that one is cleared by the Blue Jay defense. Blue Jays battling for it. The Pioneers, though, work it to the front. Blue Jays now kick it to midfield. See if they can get something going here. Headed by the Pioneers back to midfield area as we come up on the 2-minute mark of this game. Exactly 2 minutes remaining. And that's dumped into the left corner by the Pioneers, and that's going to waste some more clock as that one is kicked out of bounds by the Blue Jays. It'll be a Pioneer throw-in. 1:45 remaining as actually the clock stops with 1:46 remaining. And now they restart it. Pioneers on the throw-in. Headed it out by the Blue Jays. Pioneers in possession on the far side of the field. 1.5 minutes remaining. And this one is going to be knocked out of bounds by the Blue Jays. It'll be a Pioneers, or actually it's going to be a Blue Jay throw-in. 1:10 remaining, 70 ticks of the clock. And this one off of the Blue Jays, so it's going to be a Pioneer throw-in here with just 1 minute remaining.
1 minute to play.
1 minute remaining in this one. The Blue Jays going to have to take some chances here now. Headed in. Ooh, a diving Pioneer looking for goal number 3. Not going to get it, however. And Reglin is going to boot it away here. Nope, instead he's going to give it to his teammate. 37 seconds remaining in this one. Pioneers looking for a come-from-behind victory. 28 seconds remaining. Blue Jays going to have one last gasp here. Pioneers just trying to wind down the clock as they dump it into the far side. It's going to be out of bounds. It's going to be a Blue Jay throw-in, but there's just 10 seconds remaining. One last gasp here for the Blue Jays. Kicked up high into the air. Comes down and headed it by the Pioneer. 2 seconds, 1 second, and that will do it. Tough loss to take for the Blue Jays as they now go 0-2 here at Langhorst Field. They go 4-2-1 overall are the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays' next home game is October
Meanwhile,
12th.
the Carroll University Pioneers up the overall record to 4-2. 2-1 with the 2-1 victory here tonight. So once again, the final score, Carroll University 2, Elmhurst College 1. We thank you so much for logging on to BlueJayTV.com. My name is Mark Kruger. Talk to you down the road. So long, everybody.